So found another bed. It's out in the field. I knew about this one already. Got a camera right there. Kind of looking over it. But here it is. It's kind of hard to see. There's definitely bad deer tracks over it. Before it snowed, it was better, easier to see. It's a circle. It's a circle. And the wind is blowing this way right now, looking over the field. But the wind could easily come from the road. And the deer can just look over the field and see us coming in because we've got a quad trail over there. And there's quite a few pines. There's a rub right there. So I think this is a buck bed. I already knew about this before, but he's definitely used it since I last came over here. So you can tell I don't see any poop on it. You can tell he laid on it. I thought that was gonna be ice, but it's not. But because look at the snow over here, it's like this. But this was already packed down. This snow right here was already packed, and this was fresh. So you could tell he or she laid in it. I'm assuming it's a buck, but it could be a doe. But man, it sure looks like a buck bed to me. Just the way it's set up. It's a really smart setup. At the edge is at this point. There's pine trees, and this pine right here that he's under is at the point of it, and he's looking over, like I said, looking over the field. So it's pretty smart. I'm gonna look for more beds in here, but yeah, he's got some buck. We had a rub right here. Not super tall, but it's over my knees, so it's probably a 2.5 or 3.5 year old. So I'm gonna keep an eye on this bed, and hopefully I see the pictures of them, and hopefully it's a decent sized buck. Found another bed, about 25 yards from the other one or so, 20 yards, and it's at the entrance of the exit or whatever of the deer trail. Looks pretty dang small, probably a small doe. And then over here, closer to that buck bed, I assume is a buck bed, is another tiny bed. And then right here is a bigger bed, and that could be a doe bed. I don't know, it's probably a doe bed because there's 1, 2, 3 within a day. This was this morning for sure. But under these thick pines here, a lot of thick pines. They like it in here. No food in here though. I mean, I guess they can eat the branches and weeds, but not like a ton of food, I guess. There's grass, I guess, but yeah. Like I said, it's near the field, and there's a road right there, and they can run across the road if they need to. New day. Checking my traps right here. Guess what I found? I found more beds. I found the deer tracks from over there across the field where the pines are at, and there's a bed or two over there usually. And there's this edge right here, a swamp edge, and there's a big down poplar bed. I kicked up 3 deer, 1 spike. There's a doe bedded right here, and I need to find the other 2 quickly. Oh, she's right there. 2 deer. 2 deer, so there's 4 deer bedded over here. You see if I can find the other beds. A little further back from that down tree over there where I found the first bed. Tiny doe bed. Doe bed right there. And this is the buck bed. I am pretty certain this is the buck bed. He's the biggest of all of them. There's only like a 4-pointer spike or something, but this is the biggest. And he ran that way. So I think this is him. But surprised how far it is from from the down tree over there where I first scooped the first deer at, the doe, but there might be more in here. So yeah, this is a bedding right here. All of it's dry above the swamp grass. I'm sorry, above the swamp water, at the edge of this dead ash swamp, looking over the field where we walk and drive our quads. You can see us over there doing our thing in the yard. And I'm the only one who knows this too. This is the thing. Nobody else hunts this knows this. So it's kind of cool. I'll put this in my back pocket and remember it. And if there's a nice buck, I will try and figure out if it's staying in here or not. If there is, but probably not. Maybe in the future. Big surprise. Our bedding about 70 yards from over there from the other beds. I knew I was gonna find something. Found one. Probably a doe, maybe a buck. It's actually a cool spot. Looks like a decent sized deer from the tracks. It's on a finger. It comes out and it points, and right there's a deer blind that we have that we never hunt out of. But it comes out as a finger, and they like to point. And there probably is more than one bed in here throughout the season. But it's interesting. I found it here. So as you can see, there's some deer beds right here. There's a food plot right here, and cousin drove through here. So I drove the quad out to change the cameras. I usually don't drive the quad out here, but I did. Anyway, there's beds. One there at the edge of the thick stuff, one there and one there. One right here. And then across the food plot, the little food plot right here, there's another trail. Sorry, another bed. And as you can tell, it's doe bedding because obviously there's a lot of them. And it's right next to food. But butted up against the cover. So that if something came in, they can just jump right into the cover. The autumn olive is everywhere. So they probably bed with their backs facing to the cover if the wind is blowing over when they look over the food plot, and they bed in a group. And that's what they did last night or this morning. And then when they're hungry, they just come out and tear up a little bit of the snow and eat the grass. So just an example of doe bedding. I'm gonna try to find some more bedding today or whenever. It's always good to find bedding a day or two after fresh snow because that's when the fresh deer movement's at. I found 2 more beds right here. Different day, it just snowed last night. I actually jumped the does out of it. These are doe beds right here. Like I said, I jumped them out. They're over there somewhere. That's why I'm not talking very loud. But we have a tree stand over there in the cedar, and I saw there's tracks coming over here. So I'm like, And I kind of followed the tracks. They were pretty fresh. They were today. Obviously, they're fresher than I thought. They came down the hill, came down here, and yeah, sometime today they came down here and bedded. They've been bedding here for a little while. I walked over with them, they scared them. They didn't smell me, they heard me. Except my wind wasn't blowing that way, but they definitely heard me. And they just right off of there. They were decent sized does, but nothing special. But we did find, last year in here, we found a really, really nice shed. Like, I don't even remember where it was at. It was around here somewhere, but like 20 yards of the spot within. Really sweet buck shed. But I have jumped a buck in here before last year, a smaller buck out of here. This summer it was bedded in here, so they do bed in here. So yeah, checking traps, and I'm gonna look for more bedding. doe bed. That's definitely a bed. And next to this trail that splits off, and it actually comes out right there too. It's kind of a crazy spot actually, but it's at the edge of Thick Autumn Olive. I guess you can call it bedding if you want, but the bed's right there. And it's definitely facing this way, towards the open. Kind of cool spot. You just remember, deer like the edges. They walk down the edges, and they bed on edges. I haven't found a freaking big buck yet, but I want to. I want to find a big buck bed. That's my goal. Maybe not this year, but maybe next year. Because I think that's what's going to get me a big buck. Instead of just randomly sitting in spots that look good, I need to know where they're at. And I'm starting by scouting. I'm scouting in, this is the last day of November. Still rifle season, but I don't care because we're basically done hunting. And most people shot their deer, so I'm going to start scouting when the snow's fresh. Oh, there you go, another shot right there. But, yeah, I want to find the deer, so I'm going to do this all winter long, looking where they bed, looking for sign. I'm going to go on different properties. I might go with state land. But I'm just starting on my own, trying to get better. This is the first time I've ever scouted, really. I mean, I scouted a little bit, but I've never did it this hard, like this much. It's got a lot of motivation this year to scout, because I'm tired of, I mean, I could shoot a box. I've passed a few decent bucks, but nothing bigger than 120. You know, I want to shoot something bigger than 120. I can't even do that. So, yep, that's what I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna try to find a big buck bed, shoot him with a bow next year, or this year maybe, probably next year. I could do it with a rifle, but it's been more fun with a bow. So yeah, I mean, this property doesn't